So we're finally going to get Unforgiven, title versus career. And after like 15 minutes, Goldberg beats Hunter. Respectfully, I don't think anybody wanted to see a 15-minute Goldberg match. It tells you even now, we don't really know why we're doing what we're doing with Goldberg. And I get that Triple H had a reputation, fairly or unfairly, for having the longest match on the pay-per-view. Maybe he felt like, longer was better. Maybe that goes back to the Harley race or the Ric Flair era. I know that was a big piece of his fandom. But Goldberg's not the right opponent for a long match. And I think almost the longer you go, the more it exposes the mystique and magic and like nobody wanted to see Mike Tyson go 10 rounds, John. They wanted to see Mike Tyson knock somebody out in the first round. And so when we're not getting that, it's like, well, what's the point? I don't, it feels like it's a misstep in every direction. This first run for Goldberg and WWE is just snake bit.
Yeah. But now what would, if you saw Mike Tyson have a 6-round bout that was like Hagler Hearns?
Right.
Yeah. If you see that, you think, oh my God, man, that was great. I think that's what Hunter had in mind.
Right.
I've been out there a lot of times with guys that they say, oh, he can't go very long. I'd always want to show I could take it 15. I can take them all. The old vets used to always say, I can take anybody and make it work. And I think that's what Hunter wanted to do. In fact, I can't read his mind, but I've been in that situation so many freaking times that I know exactly what Hunter's thinking. Look, I'm going to show you we can go 15. And I guarantee that was the mindset going into it, not to expose Goldberg, but to make Goldberg. And but you're right. People don't want to see Goldberg in long matches. There's a huge difference, and there's a huge difference in people, by the way. There's no one like Brock Lesnar. And as great as, Goldberg's a terrific legend, but here's a guy who's the UFC champion and WWE champion, NCAA champion, all that stuff. But WWE knew how to manage Brock Lesnar because they brought him in. They brought him up. They brought everything about him. So Brock could wrestle 3 or 4 times a year, and you did great things with him. Now, a lot of that had to do with Brock, but they did great things with Brock because WWE understood Brock completely because he came in under WWE's system. He came in under Vince. He was built up. All this stuff that he's done, WWE knew him. WWE didn't know what to do with Goldberg because they didn't know his background. I guarantee you, Vince had never seen a Goldberg match. Vince didn't watch the competition. He got reports from Howard Finkel or from some of the boys about what the competition was doing. Vince didn't watch that stuff. He didn't watch guys until they came in. He didn't watch guys until they were WWE guys. So we had no idea what to do. WWE had no idea what to do with Goldberg. As compared to, say, Brock, where you could bring him in for 2 or 3 matches a year, you knew exactly what to do with him because he was your guy and you knew everything about him. They didn't know about Goldberg. And so I think that was a big reason that the ball was being dropped.
Listen, there's a word that gets thrown around a lot in wrestling that fans will villainize. I don't know that the guys inside the industry do, but people always like to throw around the word, oh, so-and-so was a politician. Oh, he was playing politics. That's said like it's a negative thing outside of the industry by fans. But people in the business almost hear it thrown around like it was a compliment. And I want to ask you about this because Goldberg does beat Triple H, but it takes 15 minutes. Do you think it would have been a bad political move for a guy like Triple H here over 20 years ago? We should remind everybody this is over 20 years ago. Losing in a couple of minutes, like would it have hurt him politically? Would it have hurt his value, his personal business, to do a job very quickly, like we saw so many guys do in WCW? Like, I know when he comes back years later, we'll call it 2016, and Goldberg's just running through people, man, that's when fans, it really clicked. But this first run, we're not really seeing guys signing up to do that. And I can't help but wonder, is that wrestling politics where they thought, hey, if I lose in 2 minutes, I'm positioned like I'm an enhancement talent, and top guys don't lose in 2 minutes. I'm not losing in 2 minutes. Was that the right attitude then? Was it necessary for guys to dig their heels in on something like that? If they would have done what needed to be done to get Goldberg, quote unquote, over with the fans, and that's that quick finish, would it have hurt him long term?
No, it wouldn't have. And I don't think that was the mindset of Hunter at this time. I think Hunter's mindset was like I told you, I think he thought that he could say, hey, I can take anybody 15 minutes. And so what I think they were trying to make Goldberg into was more of a WWE guy. And he wasn't a WWE guy. He was a wrecking ball guy. He was a road warrior. He was like Brock now. You know, Brock's had some really long matches and done some really great things, but Brock now is this beast that just kills people. It's a different Brock, you know, that we had, you know, he's a car wreck. And you love that. Goldberg was a car wreck. We weren't positioned, or at least we're trying to make Goldberg into something that he wasn't. And I think that was what it was, more so than guys saying, hey, I'm sticking a stake out on my turf. I'm not putting you over in 2 minutes. They were all trying to make Goldberg into something that he wasn't. And what got him over was the short violence, the Road Warriors coming out there, Mike Tyson, they were out there and just all of a sudden it's absolute carnage. It's violence. Do not blink. Do not go to the bathroom. Do not go to the concession stand. This is going to be over quick. Somebody's getting beat up. One of these two guys is, and it's going to be very entertaining. And I think that was the problem more than guys sticking their stake in the ground saying, I don't think I should lose quick. You're losing. And I think guys, the problem was where we were trying to take Goldberg to. And that wasn't Goldberg. That wasn't the essence of what made Goldberg such a star. And that's why I say WWE didn't know who Goldberg was.
We know that, thankfully, eventually, this is mercifully going to come to an end. Goldberg's time is going to finish up with WWE, and it's going to happen around the same time that Brock is leaving, and we're going to have one of the more memorable moments in WrestleMania history. We're talking about WrestleMania 20, where through a series of crazy coincidences, Brock Lesnar's leaving, and so is Bill Goldberg, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is your special guest referee. I mean, what we have here is the two top stars, top guys from the Attitude Era. On the WCW side of things, it's Goldberg. Of course, on the WWF side of things, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And they're in the ring with what was once upon a time known as the next big thing. And the only person sticking around after this show is the guy who's not wrestling anymore, our special guest referee. Fans were smart fans that night in Madison Square Garden. And this was, I mean, do you remember ever seeing a match like this in history where the fans were against both guys? I mean, they were.
This was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. I watched the whole thing, and I remember seeing it backstage, and I remember thinking this could be bad. I had no idea it'd be that bad. I mean, we thought this could be bad, but we had no idea it'd be that bad. Think about that picture you just put up. You got Stone Cold and Goldberg and Brock. I mean, look at this. That's the two biggest stars of the Attitude Era. That's people's childhood right there.
Yes.
That's guys who changed the wrestling business forever out there celebrating. Then you throw in a guy like Brock Lesnar, who's about to leave the company, by the way, to go win the UFC championship and come back. I mean, you had three. God almighty, man. It's like freaking Gotch and Hodge and Londos and Thez all in the ring together. You know, it's just, that's insane. And the fans 100% shit on it. It was unbelievable. There was zero they could have done. Zero. No matter what they did, there was zero they could have done to anything. You can go 30 seconds, you can go 30 minutes, you can go 30 hours. It ain't going to matter. There was no winning that night in the Garden.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next two house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.